Dr Sue Fowlie, thanks for being a part of the Farmers Voice and of course helping out around the sale yards with the glob, checking farmers' health. So what do you think about some of these farmers that might have been a bit nervous about coming to the doctor during the COVID lockdown?
There's been quite a few people worried about going to their doctor, thinking we were overloaded, but also just worried about coming from an infection risk point of view. We're getting back to routine. We want people to be proactive about their health. If they're worried about anything for their physical or mental health, contact your GP practice, and they want to hear from you.
What has changed for farmers or for people that might be slightly isolated as far as getting to a doctor? If you can't get to a doctor, are there new ways of actually getting in touch with your GP?
Yes, one of the things that the advantages of this of COVID-19, if you want to put it that way, is that we've looked at different ways of consulting. It was being looked at anyway. Telehealth was being worked on and run in certain areas, but this has pushed it out more. So there's now this concept of digital first. If you feel that there is no advantage to the patient of them sitting in front of you, then you need to look at how you can see them virtually. So we can do telephone consults, video consults. I'm not saying every GP practice can do that, but quite a lot can now. So you can phone up from your tractor, being busy and think I don't have time to go down, you can speak to a health professional, and they may well be able to sort out your problem without you physically having to go in. Of course there's times we need to physically see you in person to examine you or do something, but it may well reduce the amount of times you have to go in, and also you may well get extra tests beforehand, so rather than having to see your doctor 2 or 3 times or go to the surgery 2 or 3 times, it may well be able to be done in one consult, with others done over the video or phone.
And it's not just GPs as well. Some of the specialists are using this technology too, aren't they?
Yes, that was one of the things that was being done before, was looking at doing specialist consults in remote and rural areas. So they're continuing to look at that. People like physios have been doing this over the lockdown very successfully. So it's rural has, we've known about equity issues for rural and urban. There being problems there because of getting services out, and telehealth is the way forward for that. And there's been huge steps in the past couple of months because of what's happened. We've had to change, and those changes have worked, and so we're planning to continue working in different ways.
So there has been a positive since COVID-19.
Yeah.
Prior to COVID-19, you and I were going around the sale yards checking farmers and stock agents and sales yard staff. Now we found some pretty big numbers of people that needed help out there, didn't we?
Yes, it was quite shocking at times. I think across the board for all the events we went to, it came down to about 1 in 4 had something that I found that I felt should be looked at again, looked at further. Some very, very worrying things, and some that were more routine. But the numbers I saw who needed some form of medical intervention was pretty high. There was one event, I think, that we were over 40% of people I saw I recommended follow-up for.
And those problems won't have gone away since we've been locked down, will they?
No, and I think it's about being proactive about your health. It's not ignoring symptoms. We know if your physical health's not good, that you're not so productive. We know if your mental health's not so good, you're not so productive. Accidents happen, mistakes happen. You don't make such good decisions, your concentration's poorer. So, your business can be affected. So people are always saying, oh, I'm too busy to go. But, if you go, sometimes you're less busy because you're making better decisions. Things are running better. And also, you're the priority. Your business can't run if you're not well and able to run it.
As a GP, you can cover a lot of bases, mental, physical and social health, can't you? Yes,
and we can refer on when necessary, but actually we're the specialists in everything. Yes, with small amounts, but we refer on, but we deal with lots and lots in general practice, and we get to know people. We know the kind of the whole picture as well of them. Specialists are brilliant in their area, but then they'll deal with their problem and then hand you over back to your GP to deal with any other areas. We have an oversight of all of that, which is why your GP, you really do need to speak to them about any problem, because they might be linked.
Just briefly in finishing, if you're a farmer or a farmer's wife or a farmer's friend and you're a little bit worried and you're at home at the moment, what would you say to them? I
would say call your GP. We want to help you. We don't want to see you at the bottom of the cliff. We want to see you at the top before things really go wrong.
Dr Sue Fowlie from Rakawa Medical Centre, thanks very much for being part of the Farmers Voice.